Should we jump into the episode?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, and I always do this before I'm ready. Like I was like, should we jump into it? And I'm like fucking fluffing my hair, and then I'm like, hello and welcome. I don't think I've done the intro in one take, potentially for the last 6 recordings.
Should we get you a little like signing board at the back?
Teleprompter.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Resting Place podcast. I'm Dapo and I am here with Hannah Lockett.
Pleased to be here.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been a little while.
Ducking and dodging me.
I've been busy.
Busy gal.
As shown by the amount of festivals that we've been looking at.
Segue. But what we're going to do today is run through some of the fond memories we have from 2024. We go to a lot of things together, which is nice, so we can reminisce on some of those things. And we'll run through our best of 24 live shows. We've got some awards to give out to people. And this is nice because I feel like we can give people their flowers. Obviously, they're never going to see it. But
it's coming up to awards season.
It's coming up to awards season.
We've got FOMO and wanted to do our own because we obviously
don't get invited.
No.
We don't get invited, and it's upsetting me.
And have such a great sense of music taste.
Do you know what? It's so true.
We should have our own awards. Really,
we should have our own awards.
Yeah.
Maybe 2025 we'll start the Vinyl Resting Place Awards.
I would love that.
Yeah. Should we do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Get me on the panel.
I don't know.
I think we've got two similar music tastes that we'd just be giving the awards to the same people.
I think you give them to all the pop princesses, and I don't know how I feel about it.
I know that deep down you love them. Everyone does. That's why they're pop.
Everyone does.
That's why they're popular.
I don't know if the word pop means popular anymore.
Why?
Because
you think it just means shit.
Now you're putting words in my mouth to get me cancelled.
No,
I don't hate pop. I've said on this very fucking platform that pop is back.
You hate being unoriginal.
Could leave me alone. I think the word has been co-opted for particular sounds now, whereas popular music was pop music, was the music that was popular at the time.
Yeah.
Now, or maybe for a long period of time, it was a certain sound, so that's like synonymous with like.
Well, I think it's also that in media as well, you only had one way of listening to things, and so the things that got pushed by labels to be popular, there was like one destination for people to discover music, and therefore the things that, like nowadays you have way more fragmented way of listening to things, so things could become popular that never could before. That's
a good point. It's a very good point.
And now popular is probably just what has the most money shoved into it, so that it gets in front of the most people.
So would you say someone like Drake is pop?
I don't know. I feel like it's a blend, isn't it? It's a blend. That's kind of a hard one.
It's a hard question. Yeah, sorry.
You've picked a hard one.
Well, this is the point, because like I don't think he is, but then it like has a lot of money pumped into it, like is popular music, but like he's not pop music.
I would say he is a lot more pop than other hip hop rap artists.
Okay, yeah.
For example,
agreed. Yeah.
Because of his general popularity.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
And influence on culture.
Okay. Is Cowboy Carter a pop album?
Yeah, I think anything Beyonce does is pop to an extent. I would say it's country pop.
Country pop. Yeah,
it's definitely not just country.
Right, cool, fine. That I think we can.
I don't know. To me, pop music it's popular music. It's stuff that, whether it's got influences from loads of different backgrounds, if the majority of the population are going a bit crazy for it, that's pop.
Yeah, no, I get your point. I just
do you think if you were like a really niche genre and you made it onto the top 40 hits, would you not still call that pop?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. No,
Maybe I have a really weird take on it.
No, but I think you're correct in like the original stem of the word.
I would say like when, I don't know if this is going to be offensive, but I would say that when Stormzy became commercialised, it became popular music, and therefore I wouldn't say that is like pop music. But I would say it's definitely a lot more pop now than it ever was before.
Agreed.
In my definition of
okay, but then is Central C pop music?
Or maybe... Oh, I don't know.
Yes,
I'm questioning myself.
This is what I'm saying.
When I said that, I was like, oh, actually, Storms is quite controversial to pick because it's really not...
It's not pop music. But then there is the argument, and I've heard it been made before, that Stormzy does make pop music.
But do you think it's just when artists become, like, more in the spotlight and therefore can, you know, kind of... I don't know... When they do become a lot more in the spotlight, is there more pressure then to make music that is more palatable for a wider audience than their original stuff, because there's kind of a lot more eyes on it?
Yes, and I think that dilution is definitely a real thing, and I've spoken about it on here before. Like, people, it's very difficult to get to like superstardom stage and still stay rooted to your original core sound and blah blah blah. So I agree with that entirely. But then if you flip it, let's take away the scale of it. There are people who are small and up and coming artists who are making pop music.
Yeah, 100%.
So like that's where it loses the sense of popularity.
That's killed my argument,
because pop is a thing on its own, regardless of how famous you are from doing it or how many eyes are watching you do it.
Okay. I'll go for that.
And to circle the way back, I do not fucking hate pop. There's some pop that I really love.
We've been to see some, I mean, in terms of the gigs we've been to.
We said we're going to dive straight into the proceedings.
Let's get straight back to the content.
A big tangent, but it was interesting. I like that. I like that too.
But
we have been to see some pop.
We've been to see a lot of pop, actually.
Okay, right. I think Raye's pop.
I think Raye's pop too.
See? Yeah. We're good.
But but like a certain, I don't know. This is the thing. It's like, it's never just, I don't know if a lot of things would be, the things that we've been to see that is pop, I wouldn't say a lot of it is solely pop. I think it's like inspired by jazz, R&B, soul.
Yeah, very true. A
lot of soul pop.
But I think that might be the best version of pop.
Yeah,
you've got the strong vocals.
We're biased.
Of course we're biased, because my opinion's right. Right. I want to know what some of the standout gigs you've been to.
Yeah.
Ideally the ones you've been to with me.
Yeah, let's talk about some of our favourites.
Yeah, I just want this isn't for you. This is for me to reminisce.
This is purely indulgent.
Yeah, 100%. It's 100% that.
Well, we've just spoken about Raye. Let's talk about Raye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big one to start off with
because it was a huge show.
I was watching some of the videos back, and I loved that gig so much that I actually watched the videos back quite regularly. Is that sad?
That's not sad. That's not sad at all.
And every time I watch the videos back, I get goosebumps.
It was magical.
Because of how much I love her and how much I love that she put into that performance.
To clarify, we are talking about the 21st Century Symphony show at the O2.
Yeah.
Which we went to in like March last year, I want to say.
Yes, so it was around March time last year. It was just after she smashed it at the Brits.
Yes,
She'd just won 6 Brit Awards. Songwriter of the Year. First female Songwriter of the Year.
Was she?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she actually was nominated for 7 awards, which broke records. So that basically broke records in terms of how many nominations she got. It beat Craig David. It beat...
Rightly so.
Robbie Williams, and it beat Gorillaz, who have all had 7 nominations. She released her music completely independently.
Yeah.
Which was such a massive deal. So I remember going to the gig. I wouldn't even call it a gig. It was like a huge live performance.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because I think when we think of Raye, it's not... I think as an artist, this really came through at the show as well, is that she is a performer kid, you know, like through and through. She's been,
facts.
She's been doing this for time.
Yeah, 100%.
And she's not just a singer-songwriter, she is a true performer. And that gig, she performed basically all of our album without any shoes on, chit-chatting away, interacting with the audience.
She broke up a fight.
Broke up a fight. Yeah. She kind of gives, as soon as she walked on stage, she gave kind of the warmth of an Adele performance, in that you instantly feel as if you're chatting to your best friend, even though you're hundreds of meters away in the stands.
And there's 60,000 other people like stood with you. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you're almost gunning for her as if she's your best friend. And you're like, go bestie.
Yeah. I was doing that exactly. Actually. That's verbatim of me at the show. The quality of the album, like it was a majestic fucking piece of work.
Yeah.
Like, we voted it our favourite album of the year. Like, it deserves all the credit it got. And like, to see it performed live with the London Symphony Orchestra, like, it felt very special. And I think we're going to say that a lot about some of the things that we've seen this year and the ones that we highlighted. Like, that sense of being at a gig or being at a performance and feeling almost like lucky to be there.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, there's 60,000 people here, but this is one night only at the O2, and she is absolutely killing it with every song. It sounds different. Her vocal range. She did the whole acoustic thing where she got all the four quarters very Jacob Collier-esque to sing different parts of what was it? Worth It?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like just a magical experience. I remember I was absolutely knackered, and I just got there and we was up in the bleeders, and I was just so happy to be there. Yeah. And that's what is so special about these sort of moments, is that you just get to like bask in your favourite music and then understand and get to know like the person behind it. Like, she's just a lovely character, and that came across on stage.
I think also just in terms of visuals, you know, you had that, it was kind of like a classical white curtain background with just her name up in lights at the top, and it felt quite jazz inspired because she's obviously had a lot of training and is inspired by a lot of those things, and therefore wanted to make it quite I think quite like almost like a intimate jazz show, but on a massive stage.
Scale. Yeah, for sure.
And she smashed that, and she would do all of those ad libs that she's so famous for. So like even in other performances that she's done on, you know, big chat shows, she'll always give her version of the song but then ad lib and scat around it. And you know that's what's so special about her live performance, is that you have a version of the song that you will never hear again. And that's something that I love in general about jazz performance, is that you have that spontaneity and that difference, which makes it all the more special.
It's nice that you said about like seeing somebody live and them doing things different to how you expect or how you've heard them do it before, because the first gig I want to talk about is Sipho. So we went to see Sipho as part of the Shaka Khan Southbank Centre Meltdown Festival, in one of the smaller rooms, like the Purcell room in the back of the Southbank Centre.
It was Purcell.
Yeah.
So they do that festival every year, and it's curated by a different artist every year. And so this year it was Shaka Khan.
Lexamore is playing.
Okay, well, let's go.
But Lexamore also is playing We Out Here, though. We will discuss this off camera.
Just as a little segue, we generally tend to send gigs to each other, or just general things that we've seen, go, we need to go to this, and it takes a sit down FaceTime planning session to then plan all of the gigs we're going to in the year, as well as the financials that will go behind that.
There's an Excel spreadsheet.
There are some Amex cards involved.
Damn right there is.
And it's a really...
It's a tight operation. Yeah, it's a tight operation, 100%.
But it's worth it every time.
100%.
And that's why we're talking about it. Sorry, so
because we have these experiences, and it's nice to share it with someone. Do you know what I mean?
Like, and Sipho was such a great example of someone that perhaps I'd dabbled with, but I don't think I'd actually properly listened to any of his music. Not like the full album.
I definitely don't think you had.
And you'd been banging on about him for ages.
Yeah,
obsessed
I
with
think he's my current man crush. It was Mac Miller, then Koji Radical, now it's Sipho. Like big time. But I think the thing that was so special for me about that show was the setting of it being like in a theatre pretty much, and being sat down. We were like second row, and then him performing like a set that I never expected him to. Like there were songs from like 2018. He did Moonlight Part 1 and 2, and I've been listening to this song for ages, and it was something that I just kind of resigned myself to never seeing live, because he's progressed in his career. It was from like his first project that he released like on SoundCloud. Like it's just not a song that I ever thought I'd hear, and then he started it and I almost shat myself. I remember I grabbed you and I was like, because it just caught me off guard. And then he also nailed it. I think there were some lovely moments where he changed the melodies from the songs just to like show off his vocal range, and then he added all these solos for the band to just like show off what they were doing. And I was like, this is artistry. Like this is what I go to a gig for, to not just get a repeat of what I listen to every day, to get that moment that you're never going to get back. And it was quality. And that's like the second time, or maybe the third time I see Sipho. I need to chill out.
I love that feeling of when you are so into an artist and then you go see them live and they do play the songs that were really the reason that you started listening to them in the first place.
True.
And that would give you that nostalgia, and it just makes you kind of love them all the more. And it's really nice when, you know, obviously you go and see an album performance, and then a lot of the time they'll probably do their like old bangers in the encore, but sometimes there's those like little sweet songs that maybe not everyone finds their favourite, but it's your favourite, and they play it and you go mad, and it's so special. And I think particularly that gig we went to, because it was maybe it was because at the festival, but it wasn't done in a normal way to how he performs. I think he mentioned that we were all sitting down.
Yeah.
It was a theatrical performance essentially of us all sitting down and watching him on stage perform. Whereas normally I think he has loads of people shouting and jumping up and down. You know, and he even said it. He found it kind of weird, and he came down. He's such a personable character, which made it really nice. And he came down and he sat on the front of the stage and was just chatting to everyone, which was really nice. And it, you know, I think it's particularly difficult for artists, and I feel bad for artists when perhaps you do have a sit down gig, because you might not, you kind of question, maybe you question yourself a bit as to whether songs are hitting or not.
It's hard to gauge. And I think he like referenced that as that whoop, clap, like, let me know that you're feeling it, because right now I'm just staring at an empty room and like a quiet room, and it's tough for me to really get a handle on it. It's interesting though, because I feel like we're both quite like dancey people, but both the gigs that we have come off the bat with were seated.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I think I maybe we're getting old. We're definitely getting old. But
I think there's a difference. There's a difference between going to a gig and enjoying it because it's fun and boppy and dancey and you know a few of the words, and when you go to a gig of an artist that you are obsessed with, and you could quite happily sit there and be bowled over in awe by them. If that makes
it's true, and I think
it's like an infatuation. Yeah, sounds weird.
He's my man crush. I'm not even here.
Yeah, and so Raye is my girl crush.
Same.
She's everyone's
same.
What am I saying?
Well, yeah, that's just a given, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, no, that was an incredible gig, and I think, you know, Sipho, if you are listening, we were all bowled over by
blown away.
I think I didn't say much because I was just like, my mouth was just open half the
time. Hit the floor.
Like, I can't believe I'm discovering this person live, and they're amazing.
And he's got incredible talent. We'll get onto it with the awards, but he's definitely a nomination for some of the best vocals that we
best vocals.
Yeah.
Didn't he whip out an instrument?
Yeah, he plays guitar as well.
Yeah, he played guitar.
Yeah. He's a talented man. I'm so ready for him to blow, because in the most selfish of ways, I can't wait to be like, I fucking told you.
Oh.
I told you.
Of course he
He's
can't.
so sick. He's been sick as well. Like, he was making tunes that were, when he was like 16, 17, that are still top of my playlist, because they're like, they're just great pieces of work, and they're like murky, and they're heartfelt, and the lyricism is top tier, and then he sings it, and it's like the guy is levels. The guy is levels, and I want people to understand it, and I think people are getting there, but like this is how I felt with Koji like 6-7 years ago. I was like, Koji Radical is the fucking guy, and now he's like hosting the London Fashion Awards with like Maya Jama, and he's like touring around the world, and he's like he is the guy. People just need to clock on.
Listen to you more.
I'm joking.
I'll let you have that one.
I'm joking.
I'll let you have that one.
Do you have any more gigs that you want to highlight before we jump onto the fun of festivals?
One of the other interesting gigs that we went to was standout for me because it was a bit of a surprise. You messaged me saying, hey, I've got some free tickets to go see Poppy Ajudha, do you want to come? And I went, yeah, obviously. Didn't know what to expect. Turn up, we're having a pizza in Café Koko next door, there's some nice music gigs going on in there, and then it gets to the time of performance and we're like, right, well, where do we go? And so we come out of the restaurant, round the corner, and there's like a little entrance way.
Yeah, like a patio.
I don't know why I didn't look it up before, but we walk in and it's like this reception. It's giving Soho House. Yeah,
it's private. It's a private
members
club.
For
sure.
And it's like it's giving smoky corridors with cool artwork,
velvet curtains.
Yeah. I mean, like was it Sulem Curtain that had trackies on? I can't remember which one. They
both did, but then curtains were like a little bit just like bait. So
right.
They had like a stripe down the side of them, and they were like,
none of us had dressed up for this event.
Not at all.
None of us had thought, private members club.
It was a free event in Camden. I assumed it was going to be a dive bar.
The security guy looked him up and down. You're right, mate. I'm not sure about this.
I'm not sure if I let you in.
I think he managed to sweet talk him in. So
bit of kirtan charm.
Yeah, and then we're being led up through these like plush red rooms, like smoking rooms.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It was really cool
and so unexpected. And then we walked through the door into this tiny, intimate room with I guess like a performance area at the front. It wasn't even a stage, it was just space for a performance, and then a bar at the back. And probably after a while, after people came in, probably about 40 people
at max, I'd say.
Yeah,
it was 40. Really, really small.
Then she came on in this incredible outfit, just kind of like furry bralette, insane hair, makeup do. She just looked insane. Had her band, and then had also choreographed dancers.
Yeah, dancers were sick.
And the whole performance, she performed a lot of the songs that were about to be released.
Yes, off her most recent album.
Off her most recent album, Poppy, and they all banged.
Yeah,
they all absolutely banged.
It was the first time I'd heard most of it. Like, I was just not prepared for it. I was ready to like listen to some of her older stuff, or maybe she was going to throw in some of the like big hits that she's had, or bigger hits that she's had, and it was all new stuff, and I absolutely loved it.
I felt like I'd been invited VIP to an album release party.
Yeah, like wasn't her mum in the audience and that, and I was like, are we meant to be here? And then I remember as we were leaving, so she goes off stage or like leaves the room, and then like lights come up and everyone's like, well, I guess we go now. And then you walk out and she's just there like getting her mic removed, and I was like, oh, you were so good. She's like, thank you. And I was like, right, that was great then, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a really, really good gig.
It feels really special to be kind of there for when artists are doing these kind of things that potentially she's already blown up, but when she blows up to a place where she's untouchable, stuff like that probably won't happen unless you're like high up in the music industry.
For sure, which we will be, so it's fine.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. I love that one. I'm gonna say Still Woozy.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Still Woozy. That was like, it's a weird one for me because the whole night was just bizarre in the best way. We were doing content recording, and that in itself as like an element was a weird part of my day. Like,
extremely anxiety-inducing.
Yeah, incredibly anxiety-inducing.
Speaking to the public.
Yeah, like just stopping strangers in the middle of the street while they're on their way to their own evening activities. So that threw me off. And then we got in there, and then the crowd was just like was just really lovely and chatty. We were chatting about books, we were chatting about bands, and it was just a really amazing like community feel in the Hammersmith Apollo, which I think is very odd. Like normally it's people go in, you're there to see your artist and you fuck off home. That's the sort of vibe. But it's a big venue. But that was really lovely. And then Still Woozy on stage was just fucking mad, man. Like I'm sure he mooned the audience like
he ran out and
like 5 minutes in. But music wise, it really, really like made my heart very full. Like that's 15 to 20-year-old me pretty happy. You know, like I've been listening to his songs on and off for like a very long time. There's little bits that are soundtracks to uni. He's got Window that was on FIFA, so obviously they're just ingrained in my brain. And do you remember the two boys that were stood in front of us? Like it was the best bromance I've ever seen in my life. These boys were living their best lives. Like they knew, one of them knew the words to every single song.
They were screaming the words to the songs at each other,
and it was beautiful. It was like they were Swifties, but for Still Woozy.
Yeah.
But then they were the only two people that were Swifties, and it was like they were a bit obnoxious. Don't get me wrong. They're like 6'1" men jumping around in the crowd, throwing their weight around. Like it's a lot. Like simmer down, boys.
No offense to tall people as well.
No,
but if you're standing in front of me, I am going to be annoyed.
Tall people at a gig, they are cursed.
I know.
They are cursed because they know that everybody's like, oh, fuck off out the way, you beanstalk. But then what can they do? They can't all stand at the back. Like, what if there was someone who's short? Like, it's such a hard thing. But also, get out of my way, you beanstalk. It is
terribly like I know it's bad, but that is me. I'm like,
it just. I feel like I'm attracting them. Like it seems that every gig I go to, there's someone who's like 6 foot fucking
Mr. Popular, Koko.
Okay.
I think that gig in particular, there was just such a sense of a community vibe. There was the girl. So, I think it's also because we were interviewing people to start off with. We kind of like got the feel for
chatting,
who was there.
Yeah,
and everyone was just so lovely and actually kind of receptive, and that was so appreciated because we didn't really know what we were doing to start off with
at all.
And then we got in. Did you take your book out? Were you talking about books? And then
I took out.
I think we were being a bit nerdy.
What was I reading at the time?
And then we started our own crowd book club.
Yeah, because she brought out Yellowface.
Yeah.
And I was reading Open Water.
Open Water.
No. Yeah, Open Water. Yeah, Caleb. Yeah.
No, I think you would know. It was like the most recent book, and then I was like, "Oh, have you read
Small Worlds?"
Small Worlds, and then I got gas because I was like, "I've read Open Water." And then the girl behind us was like, "Oh my god, like I'm also reading."
Do you know what I think as well? It was a real like eclectic mix of people.
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes gigs attract a similar sort of people because a similar sort of person because music is like very intrinsic and like built into like
culture
and behaviours and how you act and how you dress and all those sorts of things. So it makes sense that similar sort of people, but I feel like Still Woozy just floats in a little bit of a space where there's not really a typical fan of him. Like there was a lot of people of like different ages, different genders, different races, like quirky people, very like plain people, very like out there people, and it was just like a lovely mix, a really lovely mix. And then on stage, do you remember when his bassist just started like throwing sweets into his mouth? Like they were just like seeing if they could catch like Haribos across the stage, and I was there. I was like, "You man are just fucking chilling. Like you're traveling around the world, playing like very laid back, like easy tunes.
Yeah,
and just having a laugh with it, like having a real laugh with it, and." That translated to the audience, and it was just a really lovely evening.
It was a Cali boy.
Nice and relaxed. Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. And then his visuals as well. I say visuals, but like the production of it was really cool because
the little flowers.
They had like little sunflowers,
that was nice.
Yeah, it was very on brand. I think
it was very on brand, and I wasn't sure what to expect going into it, but I definitely left having enjoyed it.
I actually just feel like his songs are so unexpectedly they're unexpectedly some of my favourite songs ever, and I didn't realise that until we went to go see him.
Exudes good vibes.
Like Goodie Bag was like always on my playlist for the longest time. When did it come out? Like 2017.
Yeah.
And then this album came out, and there actually isn't a song I think I would skip.
No, it's Love Seat is a lovely album. Go listen to Love Seat. It actually bangs.
Yeah.
Bangs. That is, I feel like that's good highlights of gigs. Yeah, really good highlights of gigs. We'll run through some more that maybe didn't make the final cut, just so we can like brag about all the cool music that we've been to see. But I was about festivals because that is my fucking lifeblood. Yeah. Everything I hibernate in winter so I can go to a festival in summer. This is what we live for. Going to Glastonbury this year, catch me there. Fucking have it.
Oh, I'm so...
No, you're not. Without even a consultation, you just popped off to Primavera.
Yeah, I'm actually not jealous.
You're not jealous of this night.
I'm going to Primavera Sound, and everyone wants to be there, and I cannot wait.
See your pop princesses. See the Powerpuff Girls in action.
It fills me with so much joy.
I can tell.
I have a full Pinterest board dedicated to outfits for Chapel Roan.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really? Psychopath.
So I'm going with my three of my best gal pals, and we obviously need outfits and makeup.
Obviously.
But we're also cheapskates on a budget. So we've got one big cabin bag, basically, between four of us that we're going to fill with outfits, makeup, accessories.
Are you apartmenting at Primavera?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
it's not a camp thing.
I thought so.
It's only an evening as well, so you just chill in the day. It's so nice. It's so nice. Just chilling in Barca in the day and then out all night. Although the final night is Charlie XCX, and I've already talked to her about it on this podcast. So I don't think we need to talk about her anymore.
I said I'm done chatting shit about Charlie XCX. So.
Oh, wow! Finally. Yeah. So the final night is Charlie XCX, and we are obviously going to be up till 5 or 6 a.m. And then the cheapest flight we could find is at 9. So I will be doing an all-nighter.
Yeah, Han.
Getting on a flight.
Yeah, Han. Han. Get it. Love that for you.
Home.
Love that for you.
It's so bra. It's so bra.
I love that for you. That's the energy that I need. That's sick. That's sick. We went to a shit ton of festivals last year as well, didn't we?
We did.
I went to Project 6 without you, unfortunately. That was sick. Then we had... I'm not going to do them in chronological order because I just can't remember. Then we had...
Yussef Dayes, no?
Yussef Dayes.
Summer Dayes.
Lovely day. Then we had We Out Here. Then I went to Lost Village, back to back. Wouldn't recommend.
I can't believe you did that.
Neither can I. It gives me nightmares. Then we had
Jazz Cafe
Festival, and I had Waterworks Festival that same weekend.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's a big festival season. I don't think I can repeat that. I just don't think my body, bank account, or brain could.
I don't know what we were thinking last year.
I had planned for a big summer, and I think I got it.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're gonna do it well.
Do it big.
Yeah.
Facts.
Don't ever do that again.
Leave me alone. Try to be cool for the people.
No, that's not. If I had any wish, it would be to have enough energy to just go back to festivals and not be like jaded by it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I don't know if I think I left a little bit of myself at Lost Village, if I'm being honest. If I'm being like completely transparent, took a lot out of me. And I was going for it. Like it was 6-7 hours in the dance every day. Even on the Sunday when everyone else was tired, I was like, boys, like we're
all right, we get it. You're the one that brings the energy. La la la. I'm sure they have a very different take on it.
Yeah, I'm tapped.
Get Charles.
I'm tapped. Charles gave us all COVID, the bastard.
We Out Here before Lost Village is almost a nice little warm up. It's a nice little spice you up for the big one because it's just so wholesome.
It's my favourite festival. I think
ever.
Yeah. 3 years in a row.
Is it?
We're going this year.
We're going again.
Yeah, we're going again. 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
It encapsulates everything that I kind of love about festivals. Is that idea of just like taking a little bit of a snapshot away from like real life for a bit. Like it's just a place where you can go and listen to some amazing music, have some good food, like really chill out with your friends, and like it doesn't need to be this like heavy, like massive session. Like it can just be you are like taking a bit of a break, and I feel like we've done it right both years, and I can't wait to go again. And like it's one of those things that I look back on every year with like a lot of fondness, where it's just like that was a moment where I was properly happy. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the best thing that they get right about the festival is that everything about the way that it's set up and put together is so well done that you can just go and not know the majority of the artists playing and not need to and have the best time of your life, because you can go and it's such a pleasant vibe. The site itself is set up so well that you can go into a wellness area and swim in a lake.
The lake is gross.
Do some yoga.
The disclaimer: the lake is so gross.
The first year I enjoyed it, but that's because we had rubber rings that we could float on.
Yeah.
This year I got in and my feet sank into this like
boggy, seaweedy.
But you can't kick it because the cold, refreshing jump.
It is like a plunge pool, isn't it? Yeah.
It's good.
And then you go sit in the sun for a bit, and it's like...
And you dry off.
Yeah, it's refreshing, and you start your day right, and then you go off and listen to a lovely jazz band, and it's just like...
If I had the money, I would do the jacuzzi over the lake.
100%. Fuck the lake. If I had the money, we'd get the jacuzzi immediately. What do you mean?
8-person jacuzzi party, yes please.
Straight back to the bell.
Yes, please. But unfortunately, as we talked about, we didn't have the cash in hand to be able to afford that.
Still currently don't have the cash in hand.
But yeah, like the good thing about the festival is that it's set up so well that I quite often look at the lineup and I go, yes, love these people. But the majority of people I don't know. And I kind of just get led by you and Jordan and Cal the year that he came.
Yeah. The dictators.
And have the best time of my life, and it's a place to discover music.
I think it's a real celebration of the music. Like, do you know who I listen to a lot now? Cottonette.
Yeah.
But they're just like these lovely, like middle-aged Frenchmen who play some funky as fuck jazz, and we bumped into them outside of one of the stages. I think Guts was DJing in the Next Door Records place, and they were just there like taking pictures with people, and I was like, you're just someone's dad, like you're like, you are just someone's dad, and you're reveling in your moment, and you deserve your time.
And they had such a great like French style sense of humour that they brought on stage with them, and it made them so much more likeable.
They were so likeable.
And then they came down off the stage and played throughout the audience.
Yeah, that was sick. That was so fuck. Wow.
See, these are the reactions that I get from We Out Here, because it's people that you had no idea about before. You go and they absolutely blow your mind and provide such amazing experiences that you want to go back. 100%. You have to go back.
You have to go. I recommend everyone should go.
I can't imagine doing my year without having that there.
Yeah, same. I feel like it's a festival that I can see myself going into old age, like whatever you class as old age. And
it's because it's so chill as well.
So
like,
family friendly, no dickheads. Like...
It feels like there's a sense of trust because, you know, like there's no like every time you enter the music area, people are patting you down with dogs. You know what I mean? Like you can flow through from going back to your tent, going into the area, go for a swim, come back. Yeah. I would say though, bringing your own shower is a must. Like many festivals,
like all festivals, I think you got to plan ahead.
They provide showers. They're very nice showers. They stop working after day two.
The toilet system is
the toilet
sitch is good.
The toilet you can flush it.
Is all festivals should have them.
They're elite. They're the most elite festival toilets. That's actually probably part of the good experience.
One of the issues with festivals, and this dates back to like Reading and Leeds, and first time I went to Boomtown, like the anxiety of needing to do a poo is a lot, and like it weighs on you because you're blocked up. It's the state of these things, just like Like Lost Village
Never
toilet.
any soap for your hands.
No.
We out here, there's always soap and toilet roll.
Yeah. It's just always. They've got like a rota of people. Like, shout out to the events team, because you've got the facilities down. What sets, whether it be We Out Here, Jazz Café Festival, Yussef Dayes, what were maybe 2 or 3 standout sets for you?
I was thinking about this the other day, and I actually, maybe it's because I didn't realise how much I love him, but Masego at the Summer Dayes Festival was actually class.
He killed it.
It slapped. Like, I've listened to Masego for a really long time, and I love his music, and every time he drops an album I'll listen to it all the way through, but I never kind of chat about how much I like him. And I think everyone kind of gets caught up on the whole Tiddo.
Yeah,
and like,
so true.
It's such a good song, but it's not his only song.
Chat your shit.
He's got loads of songs that are really good.
Yeah.
And and seeing him perform in real life was an experience I didn't know I needed.
Had you never seen him live before?
Never ever.
See, I'd seen him live, and that Yussef Dayes Festival set was, I think I'd seen him twice before, and it was 10 times better than either of those moments.
I think he's just, first of all, he's a really cool guy.
Really good.
Really cool.
Oozes
guy.
cool on stage.
He just comes on, sax in hand. Like, he's the way he kind of holds himself. I don't know. He's just a cool guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
When people are cool, you can't say why they're cool. They just have an aura of cool, and that's what he gave.
He's
off.
Got it. Like, he's got
whatever it is
in spades.
Yeah. And then, he just played all of my favourite songs and some songs that I hadn't properly listened to before that I love.
The stamina, the ability to sing so crisply, jump around on stage as much as he does, and then just pick up his sax and just play it. Like, it doesn't. The breath control makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Like, how do you do that?
No, his lungs must be huge.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, I agree. Great shout. Who else?
I mean, I think you've talked about it on the pod before, but the K-Tempest set was emotional.
Beautiful.
Was insane. Just purely from Golden Hour vibes, purely from the content that happened throughout the set, and then everyone just crying at the end because it made them so emotional that we couldn't possibly. It was just just like emotional relief. Yeah,
it was. It really was, and I think that's beautiful. I think the message that they had was that, like, hey, fuck tomorrow. It's okay. Enjoy right now. Like, you will be fine. Like, it was really inspirational. I know. Charlie and Naomi they left halfway through. And
didn't vibe with it.
Didn't vibe with it at all.
Yeah.
It was just a message of positivity and hope, and it
yeah,
made you feel all warm.
Yeah, and when people say, when the phrase of like speak your truth, like they really spoke their truth. That's the poetry in their music is pretty cool for that.
Love that.
It's reflective. Yeah. The other set, I'll let you talk about your set. Are we out here? But I do want to talk about Louis Vega and the Elements of Life. I know you weren't there, but it was possibly one of the best sets I saw that summer.
That's so disappointing. Can we let me just give context for this, because this really, really breaks my heart.
And I've never said that to you, but we do have to talk about it on the phone. I just felt I've never admitted.
Didn't you cry there as well?
No, but I was close to.
So we started seeing Louis Vega, but I am a massive, massive Silhouettes Project fan. And Silhouettes Project 2 was one of my favourite albums of last year. I was like, I'm going to see them. And I said, it's a non-negotiable for me. I will go by myself if needs be. Like, that is fine. I was very lucky that one of our friends, Kathy, came along with me. And I got there, super excited that it's going to be a pivotal moment of the festival for me. This is what I came for. And, like, maybe 2 songs in, the speaker blew. So, like, the sound quality was just awful throughout the whole set, and like, it was nice to be able to see them, and they still like pulled through and did their thing, and there was a lot of the features that they have who are like bubbling and up and coming artists within that UK neo soul jazz scene. Like, that was really nice to see. It just didn't sound very good, and like I felt that it didn't sound very good, and we were pretty close to the front, and it didn't hit. wait for everybody to come back to meet up to go to wherever we're going to end the night. Corto Alto. Banging. And then everybody was like, so that was the best thing I've ever seen. And I was like, shit, can you not? And everyone was like, no, but like really, it was the best thing I've ever like it was emotional. It was a mood. And then Dee Dee Bridgewater came out, and then Brian Jackson came out, and I was like, right, I'm just gonna go and like have a little cry.
Look, go on. Louis Vega in himself is just
amazing,
a legend. It was the legend slot, right? Yeah. It was Louis Vega, and then he brought out Dee Dee Bridgewater, collabs with her for a while, you know, legendary jazz singer, and they just did some like insane kind of interactive versions of songs, like some call and response, interacting with the audience. She went back, Brian Jackson came out, they did this kind of like an interactive set. Louis Vega's kind of bopping around the stage, just like having the best time. And then they pull out Moody Man. And just the combination of whipping them all out and doing renditions of like Almost Lost Detroit.
Yeah. That's special.
And to me that song is also just like one of my favourite songs of all time. So hearing that live with all of the legends together was special. I'm sorry,
I knew it would be special, and yeah, I made a choice, and you win some, you lose some. That's just, it's the way it goes sometimes. But
what about you? What are some of your standouts?
I've said it on the pod before, but the Alchemist set at Jazz Cafe, that was like, that's something that is going to stick in my mind for a very long time. I think like I've never been in like that sort of environment where everybody is just like hanging off every note, like every tune he dropped. Like the whole fucking place was just locked in with him. And then the audacity when he comes out, I was like, I could go for 6 fucking hours. I was like, he's the king. And I feel like the setting of it, the greenhouse stage, like it just made it very, very, I don't know, like elevated. It felt different from any other time that I've seen Alchemist before. It felt like the tune selection was just spot on. The way he would like tease people was spot on. The crowd were perfect for it, and like as a way to sort of like send off summer, that was magical. I've tried to find that set on like YouTube for like the last 6 months. I can't find it. So if someone has like a recording, or if I can just like get that sent my way, that would be amazing.
I'm on socials.
Dapo_AG. There we go. That was a big moment. That's like I'm glad that I was there for it. Lost Village, I know you weren't there, so I'm deviating a little bit, but we went to see Fatima Yamaha live. And
insane.
It was like the Saturday or the Sunday, and it was like sunset set. We've been at Chaos and CBD before, like boogieing away. And I was like, to be honest, seeing Chaos before, I'm gonna see Chaos again. I haven't seen Fatima Yamaha ever. Like, it's an hour set. Like, Chaos are on for 5 hours. Like, if we want to, we can come back. Like, I'm gonna go. The first like half an hour of it was like very touch and go. Like, it was very I don't know, like experimental. And you could sense in the audience like everybody was a little bit, oh, is this what it's gonna be like? Oh, I don't know how it's gonna be. And then like the sun started setting, and then the last half hour, 45 minutes of the set was just pure magic. Wanted to see him for a long time, and I was really, really like locked in for that half an hour. If you know those sets where it feels like you've been there for ages, time has just completely passed you by, and then you look around, it's like, oh wait, that was only 45 minutes. And that was very special. We were there with a couple of my boys, and it was just like impeccable. Like, that was like the transition from a little bit of like a day dance party to like, okay, right, let's go. Like, we're out and about now. Like, it was sick. It was so good. a special shout out to Sampha at We Out Here.
Yes.
He was really, really good at We Out Here. Way better than I expected it to be, and like it was.
Okay, question. Do you think Sampha was better at We Out Here or at Hyde Park BST, British Summertime?
We Out Here.
Really?
We Out Here. I think at British Summertime, he was really good. The set was slightly different, like very slightly, but like he didn't play. I don't think he played Gabriel at British Summertime, and I don't think he played. He teased "No One Knows Me" like the piano, but then didn't play it, and that pissed me off. And I think the one thing that didn't work in his favour at British Summertime, even though he was probably very similarly on a par music wise, is the crowd weren't there for him. Like the crowd were there to see.
We need to talk about this. We need to talk about the crowd at British Summertime.
Ridiculous.
Which I actually think is just also wild what happened at British Summertime compared to Glastonbury.
Yes.
In terms of SZA's following and performance.
Yeah, agreed.
So we were at Sampha. I think it was a really cool, interesting set that he was doing.
Yeah, no, it was.
And actually, visually, I kind of preferred it, even though we were further away.
But you could do more with the British Summertime stage, though.
Yeah, true. Anyway, we're at this Sampha performance, and most of the day, British Summertime, it's a really nice festival. It had been a good vibe. There wasn't that many people there. You could kind of flow in and out. And then at a certain time, probably around Sampha's set, like hordes of people started coming in, and they were all there for SZA.
Yeah,
they were all there for SZA, and they arrived and they all just sat down in front of the stage while he was performing, and they just went, well, I'm not here to see you, am I? And just sat down and basically were just like looking at their phones, not even speaking to one another.
No, they were looking miserable.
Just like waiting, and I was like, it felt like, what's going on? It felt like an apocalypse. I was like, what is going on? All of these people are just sitting down in front of the stage while someone's performing, and not giving a single piece of attention until the point at which SZA, well, the music started coming on for SZA's set, at which point they all stood up.
Pandemonium.
And it went crazy. I don't think there was a single moment of silence up until then, because they were all screaming every single word for word her song. Every single performance, their phones were out to record the whole song because they couldn't miss a second of it. It was the most devoted I have ever seen. Yeah.
I was screaming.
An audience.
I agree.
And she deserved it.
100%. But I think that's why, like, having your audience is so big when it comes to festival sets, because like I was so surprised when like the Glastonbury one didn't go off, because it was the same set, the same fucking like layout, design, production, and I was like, I really enjoyed it at British Summertime, and you were lost in the fever for her, but then at Glasgow, like headline slot, you're competing against a lot of things, you've got a lot of expectations, and like I think there were probably, let's talk about the scale, right? There's probably a similar amount of people at the Glasgow set than that were at the British Summertime set, just because of the size of the festival. But you're headlining Glastonbury and you compare it to other stages or other headliners, it just doesn't look right. Whereas at British Summertime, that was as big as the Paolo Nutini one or the Kylie Minogue one or the Kings of Leon. Like it was on a parallel, but I just feel like with the Glastonbury crowd, in a similar way to the SZA crowd for Sampha, there were not enough people who were there for SZA, and that's just unfortunate. It's the way it goes.
Yeah, and also I think at Glastonbury it's such a big festival that, I don't know, like everyone at British Summertime quite clearly came and arrived for her.
SZA, yeah, it's true. I rated British Summertime though. We didn't mention that as one of our festivals, did we? When we were counting it, so like 8 festivals. Jesus. Jesus Christ. It was actually a really nice day. Like I'd never been it before. I just assumed it was going to be like quite low budget and boring. Like, I thought we'd just have not much festivities around it, but like even the bar designs and like the stage setups were just like, it was like a mini Glasgow.
They were well thought out.
Well thought out, which I was surprised about, because I British Summertime to me is like something that you go to with your mum, which is not a bad thing, but like it was a really, really good day out. It was a really good day out.
Yeah, the food was really good.
Food was really
Saw
good.
a lot of interesting artists that I would have always loved to see, but would never thought I would be able to see them all in once in a festival scenario. Like Hope Tyler killed it.
Yeah, Elmine killed it.
Snow Allegra
killed it. Sampha killed it.
Literally everyone.
That is I think really nice. Like that's 5 acts that I would have really wanted to see back to back to back. No clashes, no like
like the curation of the artist list and lineup was good.
Perfect. Snow Allegra was sick. Like I'm just not. I remember when we bought our tickets, it was like 100 quid, and we were like, oh, 100 quid is a lot to drop on a day. But to see Sampha, to see Scissor alone is 100 quid. Let's be honest. Easily. So you're making money back there. And then to see Sampha and Snow Allegra, you're spending close to 100 quid. And then you got Elmine and Hope Tyler on top, which is great.
It's cost per artist.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually saving money. That's what I'm doing.
Mad.
Thank you. I want to, before we round off, just do some of our awards, and then we'll wrap it up, because we've just been yammering.
And I could do it for hours.
It's got me in the mood for festival season.
Yeah.
So bad. Who was the best gig you went to see this year?
So I think we've talked about this, right? My two standouts. Raye was just definitely the top for me, but I think Sipho, as we've talked about, was a very close second.
I'm giving it to Sipho top personally, because that's my boy. Close second, Hiatus Coyote.
Yeah,
like Hiatus Coyote first time round, whenever we went to see them, is still probably the best gig I've ever been to, but the second time round, it was just the production value was higher. Like it was a really fun night. That was like I got a lot of love for them.
I agree. I wish we could expand on that more, but we'll
come back to it. Of all the festivals, which was the best one? Actually, you're already going to say We Out Here was the best festival you've been to. Makes sense. It is the best festival of the day festivals you went to. So Jazz Café Festival, Yussef Dayes, British Summertime. What was the best of those three?
Summer Days, for sure.
Summer Days, really?
Sure. Yeah, I just think, like also being in, so it was in the Crystal Palace Bowl, right? I think that as a setting in itself was actually just really cool. It's completely different to any other festival that you're going to. And then the lineup was insane. The vibe was just generally really great. And then also, we didn't talk about this, they did he got his dad to do a yoga set. Class.
He did.
Dave Dayes did yoga class before
at the start.
everything.
Yeah, that's so true.
So it was kind of like in itself had loads of just little pockets of fun that most day festivals don't make the time for.
And I think as well, one thing I did love, the fact that it's just one stage and it's just all in that bowl. Like you get to, if you can see everything. Like there's no issues about clashing. Like if you're going to get like a drink or some food, like you're just at the back of the stage, like you get the opportunity to hear and see everybody. So like that was a really nice part of the day. I was going to go Jazz Cafe of the day festivals, just because it felt different. I don't know whether it was because of the setup, and maybe I've not been to a festival in Burgess Park, or like the music was different, but like it was the maybe more exploratory nature that we love about We Out Here, but like in a day festival. Like sometimes I feel like I go to day festivals either with the intention of like I must see XYZ, 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 or like I'm just here for vibes and we'll see where the day goes. Whereas I feel like we kind of did some wandering, and like the Habibi funk set was quality. Like Ken Dresser was so good, and Diley was great. Like just people that I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to see otherwise, and probably if we're calling a spade, that wouldn't get bookings. Like it's hard to find that like niche of where you're gonna perform. I really like that. I feel like I left there having seen a lot of artists either that I really wanted to see, or that like I don't know when I would have got the chance to see otherwise without having to like go to their show. So I'll give it to Jazz Café Festival.
Nice.
Personally.
Yeah, I think that's why we wanted to go, isn't it? Because there were so many people there. We were like, oh wait,
this is sick, and it's
I can't believe they're performing.
Yeah, facts. Like Kenyatta doesn't drop music. She just doesn't. So
Dai Li was one of my artists upcoming for 2024.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah. What was the best new experience, like, or the new best like find that you had from your live music experiences?
Best find. We talked about Poppy Ajudha. Yeah, Poppy Ajudha, and then also maybe at We Out Here, the Cotonette set was lush. I enjoyed that.
Do you know who I really liked? I think it was after we went in the lake. We went to see a regular who just sat at the back. They're like jazz, like 4-piece with a tuba.
Yes.
That was really nice. They're fucking cool.
I have a video of that, and I was like, God, I don't remember what they is, but they are so
good. They were really, really good. And it was like 12 o'clock. Everyone was still just sort of stirring and like getting their brains back together. And that was just a really like nice start to the day. So that was, and I still listen to them now like quite regularly. So that was a good find for me. What was like the most emotional, like heartfelt performance?
Yeah, most emotional when we talked about K Tempest. Yeah. It was just like out body experience.
It was an out body experience. And I remember just like I was getting choked up and I was like, you need to chill out. And I turn around, everyone's just in bits. Like you, Ella, Georgie, just tears, floods of tears. And I was like, like maybe it's okay for me to cry. It was really emotional. Was
it emotional? Was it like we'd been at a festival for 3 days?
I think it was a perfect storm of everything, right? I was gonna say when we went to see Hope Tala, when her family were just like in front of us, and her dad was like filming her, and that they were all just having a little boogie, and then she pointed them out, and all her friends were there, and I was like, that is fucking lovely. Like, that was really nice, as well as her having a really, really good set. I think she smashed it. Like, it's nice to see, especially for someone like growing in their career, like the human side of it as well. Like just a really proud family watching their daughter perform at Hyde Park. Like that's insane. Before we round off, what gigs or festivals or events that you've got coming up are you very excited for 2025?
We've talked about Primavera Sound, but Primavera Sound is going to be huge. You've got Chapel Run, you've got Charlie XCX, you've got Sabrina Carpenter, you've got CMAT. I've always wanted to see CMAT live.
Same.
I missed all of her live performances in the UK last year and was really sad about it. I was living very close to Ali Pali at the time that she did her performance there, and I could hear it as I walked through the park, and I've never experienced FOMO like it.
Big L.
So I cannot wait for that. And also just the pure vibes of the festival itself. It will be big. Yeah. What about you?
Obviously Glasgow. Like that's gonna. Well, yeah. Hopefully, we'll see what the lineup says. But you always find something that you like at Glasgow. Like that's at the forefront of my mind. I am looking forward to, there's a singer that I want to see this month called Sophie Faith. And it's similar vibes to like Poppy Ajudha, where I just got some free tickets and it's in NT Loft.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I'm excited for that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy Alexa more tickets. And from the first We Out Here lineup release, I want to see everything is recorded, and I want to see fucking Parsaloo.
Yeah, 100%.
Parsaloo's new album is stupid.
Incredible.
Yeah, so
incredible.
Yeah, that's it's starting to bubble away. My bank account is already screaming.
Speaking of We Out Here this year, I was looking at the Cross the Tracks lineup and started listening to, I don't know how this is how you say it, but Nala Sonefro.
Yeah, you put me onto her.
And the album, her most recent album, I put on and I listened to it, and I never felt a calm like it in my life. It's just pure instrumental. I don't, it's kind of like psychedelic soul. I don't know. It's kind of like
new wave.
I don't know how to describe it.
Go listen to it.
It makes me feel a certain way. So yeah, definitely listen to Nice and Afro. That'll be good.
That would be a really. I reckon she'll be on at like 3 p.m. on her after. Imagine that, just in the sunshine, like just sat down. Get me to festival season.
I know. Get us out of this
get us
dreary weather.
Fuck January. Thank you for coming along with us down memory lane in 2024. Some of the best memories of 2024 for sure. We will be back chatting shit on your screens and in your headphones very soon. Obviously, Hannah and I have seen loads and loads of live music over the past year, and we're going to see loads and loads more in 2025, fingers crossed. What we also want to do is give you a bit of an insight into what is going on in and around London primarily, but hopefully we'll go further afield in the future. With Vinyl Resting Picks, we're going to let you know what's going on, where it's going on, who you should be seeing live, and then we'll hopefully give some reviews of the things that we've seen as we go along.
Yeah.
But check that out on all our socials. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, at Vinyl Resting Place Pod. And we'll catch you again next week.
See ya. I
kind of want to keep that in.